Hello Ji, I'm WhyBhanshu, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about life at IIM Bangalore, my entire first year, and what exactly happens in a chronological order. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि इंटरनेट पे ऐसा कोई भी वीडियो नहीं है जो आपको सही में बता सके कि कुत्ते भौंक रहे हैं जो आपको सही में बता सके कि एक्चुअली क्या होता है वंस यू एंटर अ बी स्कूल, स्पेसिफिकली आई एम बैंगलोर. मैं इस वीडियो को सिंपल रखूंगा, रियल रखूंगा एंड टू द पॉइंट रखूंगा एंड कोशिश करूंगा कि ज़्यादा चीज़ें मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ. चलो फिर आ जाओ, कट टू म्यूजिक, कट सम सॉन्ग्स, लेट्स गो मैन.
Okay.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.
Okay, so the first week in campus, right when you enter, is called the Connect Week. Short में इसको Con Week भी बोलते हैं. सबसे पहले तो वही चीज़ें होंगी जो आप expect करोगे, the formalities. You will get your own room allocated in the hostel. एक चिट होगा, वहीं एक बॉक्स होगा जिसमें चिट्स होंगी, उसमें से अपने चिट्स उठा लो. And the reason the first week is called the Connect Week is because there are a lot of activities जो planned होती हैं from the purpose of helping you connect with others. So the ones that I recall are recreating an iconic scene from Three Idiots, because Three Idiots is shot in IIM Bangalore, so that's a good icebreaker. Second is designing a section flag and anthem. तुम्हारे section का खुद का flag और anthem अपने section mates के साथ बात करके एक fun activity again. Then the most important activity, which in my opinion from this entire week, is called Know Your PGP2, which is a task where everybody from first year is paired with somebody from the second year, and तुम उस senior को guess करना होता है तुम्हें, because तुम्हें एक keyword दिया रहता है और कुछ friends दिए रहते हैं, तो उनके friends के पास जाकर उनसे पूछो कि कौन है वो बंदा जिसका keyword ये हो सकता है या nickname ये हो सकता है, and they'll try to like mess with you थोड़ा सा. So it's good banter, and eventually that person who's allocated to you becomes your buddy for the entire 1 year. कुछ भी तुम्हें doubt हो, कैसा भी तुम्हें help चाहिए हो, you can always go up to them. You do something nice for them as a gesture. तो ये इवेंट हो गया नो योर PGP2. शाउट आउट टू सिद्धांत बगारिया who was my नो योर PGP2, and yeah, he was really good. Thanks a lot for that. So moving on, I'll try to keep this fast paced because बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं यहाँ कवर करने के लिए. So the पहला वीक हो गया कनेक्ट वीक, and these are all the activities that happen. To be very honest, पहला वीक कई बार ऐसा लग सकता है कि there are so many things happening and it's a little overwhelming and intimidating. मेरे लिए तो at least ऐसा था, but there is a nice end to it. Just hang in there and you will know what I mean if you come to IIM Bangalore. So I feel it's a good thing eventually, and it sets you up for a B school experience. So that's the connect week, and then come the first week of classes. Now officially you have started the academic curriculum at IIM Bangalore. I'll quickly tell you the subjects जो होते हैं पहले term में. Accounting for decisions or simple accounting basically. Advances in business communication or simply communication भी बोल सकते हो because communication is very important. Third is decision sciences या data sciences भी बोल सकते हो. Fourth is managerial economics या microeconomics भी बोल सकते हो. पता नहीं क्यों इतने fancy नाम दे रखे हैं. But basically these you have accounting, you have communication, you have data sciences, you have microeconomics, you have marketing management and organization design. These are the 6 subjects. और ये 6 के 6 subjects तुम्हें पढ़ने होते हैं. There is a component of class participation or CP which not a lot of people will be versed with क्योंकि engineering schools में नहीं होता. Basically you have to put your hand up and give a perspective, and that also has a weightage. Speaking of business education, the sponsor of today's video, Scalar School of Business, launched a full-time on-campus 18-month PG program in management and technology in Bangalore. The program is designed by leaders who have literally built billion-dollar businesses, like Bhavik Rathod, the founding leader at Uber India, who took it to $1 billion, or Manish, the ex-CXO at Myntra, who took it to $400 million in annual recurring revenue. Here, you get opportunities to get placed at top MNCs and startups with their 1,200 plus placement partners. The access they have was unparalleled because they've been pioneers in education since 2015, where they had 96% placement rate and a 25L median CTC only through their online programs. All of this has been verified by B2K Analytics, the same body that audits IIMs. They also strongly believe you learn business by doing business. So as part of the curriculum, you also get to build a business, take it to market, generate revenue, and raise VC capital, all while being on campus. Along with this, they also offer a 3-month mandatory internship, company source projects as part of the program. They're now handpicking only 75 students for their founding cohort starting in August 2024. They have scholarships up to 100% and application sections are open right now. So if you want to get placed at top MNCs and startups, check out Scalar School of Business using the link in the description. Moving on, after the first week of classes, the next big thing that happens on campus is Aaramb, which is a cultural night, you can say a talent night rather, organized solely by first years for the entire student body. Your seniors sell it very, very well, saying ki ye first IIM Bangalore POR hai, that is going to come your way. Not sure how valuable that POR is, if I'm being very honest, but it's a good gateway to connect with a lot of people. There are different verticals like sponsorship, events, dance, singing, etc., etc. I was in the sponsorship vertical because I like doing that, but I also met a lot of people who were friends throughout the MBA because of the same. Most notably, Sailesh and Pragya, who were in dance. So that's that. And moving on, we have Icebreaker, which is the next thing that happens after Aram. So Aram is like last week of June, more like, and Icebreaker follows closely after. What is Icebreaker? It is a dedicated sports fest for first years. So second years can't participate, and there are all the sports that you can think of. So around 15 or so sports, and every section, which has 70 odd students, every section has 70 students, and they compete against each other in different sports, and eventually you have an overall winner basis the number of points. I was leading Ultimate Frisbee, and we won gold, not only in Ultimate Frisbee, but also in the overall Icebreaker Championship, and we were Section E was the winner of Icebreaker. Following Icebreaker, you have what's called the first round of parties. Of course, IIM Bangalore is an alcohol and drug-free campus. So everything that you will see in the videos are just people drinking Coca-Cola. But it's a very good place to be, the gathering. We call it gatherings officially, and they happen at old blocks K Mid. That's like a culture of IIM Bangalore. In the old blocks, there's the middle floor is dedicated for these gatherings, and the first party that happens is organized by your section seniors for you guys, and then eventually there are other section key parties where you can just go and crash. A lot of people end up doing that. We did that because first year mein kafi entu rehta, and yeah, it's again a good place to dance your heart out and just meet with other like-minded folks and just to have a good time because you worked really hard to get in IIM Bangalore. So that's the first round of parties. Then comes the first PlaceCom meeting that happens somewhere in the late first week of July, early second week. That's where everything changes in the campus. You can see कि पूरे campus का vibe changes आता है. And why do I say that? It's because अभी तक you were playing sports, you were doing some talent night in Aram, or you were literally celebrating in parties, or you were connecting in Connect Week. But now, when the placement committee comes for a general body meeting or GBM, you see their demeanor. They have a certain demeanor, and they're expected to be that way because they're navigating companies on the outside and students on the inside. So they're a little more serious, a little more put together, and they explain कि पूरा placement procedure कैसा लगने वाला है from this day till the day of getting placed in summers eventually. And that's when it hits you कि यार eventually तो सब यहाँ पे placement लेने ही आए हैं. Everybody is here to get a good ROI on their investment in this MBA. And yeah, so the whole vibe of the campus changes. Everybody suddenly gets more serious. And from here on, the most important thing that happens is CV making, because that's the first thing in the placement process. You have about a month or so to prepare your CV. Initially बहुत intimidating लगता है. At least मुझे तो काफी intimidating लगा था, because you see your senior के CVs and there is absolutely no white space in that CV, full of achievements and accolades, and you feel कि like मैंने इतना कुछ करा भी है लाइफ में कि मैं उसको पूरा का पूरा भर दूं एंड तक. But don't worry, you have a lot of people guiding you. You can always reach out to your Know Your PGP2 from Connect Week, or you can reach out to the people who are assigned to you by the placement committee, or just any senior in general. Honestly, the entire batch is more than willing to help you. So connect with people, iterate and iterate again, and eventually you will see that your CV is turning out very, very nicely. But that entire month of July and the first 10 days of August, that's essentially the CV making process. Even though CV making is going on, it's not like that's the only thing that's going on in the campus. There are always a ton of other things going on. Eximius and Vista, these are two business fests that IIM Bangalore organizes, and they happen around the same time, sometime in July or sometime early August. A lot of good speakers come for these events. For us, I think Amir Khan came at Vista, and Aman Gupta was also there. So they're very good speakers to go listen to. Moreover, there are case competitions, which might be a new term for people not well versed with B schools. What is a case competition? It's essentially a business case जो तुम्हें दिया जाता है, and उस business case को you're supposed to solve. using your business acumen. I did not come from a business background. So first year when I talked to my seniors and I was like, this is a little intimidating. What should I do? Obviously, one good advice you will get is to prioritize one thing over the other. You can't do everything. And what they told me is it's better to focus on these competitions in your second year. When you have a lot more knowledge and you're well versed. Right now and this is a good tip for anybody, it's always best to focus on academics and make sure you have good grades, because at the end final placements academics become the biggest differentiator. But if you come from a business background and you feel like you have an edge, I think by all means go ahead and get those case competition wins under your belt. That might reflect really, really nicely on your CV as well. So, so Eximius and Vista, these things are going on in the month of July and August, and then you have several rounds of resume mentoring by your PR, which is the placement representative, also by your seniors. Also, in the last week of July is the week of midterms. The first midterm of the first term, essentially the first examination ever, and उस समय तुम्हें पता चलता है कि पूरा एक तुम्हारे सेक्शन का एक सीन पता चल जाता है कि भाई कौन पढ़ने में कितना अच्छा है, कौन कितना पानी में है, for instance. So that it becomes a good differentiator for you, I would say, because going in I was kind of skeptical ki will I be able to cope up with everything that's happening there, right? But first midterm results came out very, very nicely. I was amongst the first top 3 to 4 students in the section, and that trend continued even in the end terms of term 1. So that becomes a good place for you to get confidence. And if results for whatever reasons don't go your way, you can also then go back and work on it and understand what can I do better. But that first midterm wala jo week hai, you will see everybody studying, everybody going for papers, coming back, taking like a small break, then studying again, all-nighters. क्योंकि इससे पहले ज़्यादा टाइम मिला नहीं होता किसी को पढ़ने के लिए, honestly. इतने सारे events हो रहे थे जो मैंने बताया. But that becomes like a week of really figuring out what the scene of your section is, because first midterm, first term ka, that's one thing. Moving on, after the first week of August, around 10th of August typically, is when CVs freeze. What do I mean by that? On the portal. So by the way, in case it wasn't very clear earlier, all the CVs for everybody have the same format in IIM Bangalore. It's the same template. It's essentially a portal जहाँ पर तुम अपने points डालते हो और ताकि सबका CV एकदम standardized रहे. If at the end of the day, the differentiation comes from what's inside the CV, not from how it's presented. So the format is homogeneous. 10th of August ko, या फिर around the same time, can differ from batch to batch. The CV freezes. What that means is that portal freezes and you can no longer add or modify your points. They get frozen. And following that, they are verified by an independent agency. To verify करने के लिए कैसे verify करें? Everything that you put on your CV, stating like I was one amongst the 100 people who participated, that number 100 also has to be backed off, either through a certificate by the body who organized it or through an email by somebody with that domain name. So that becomes a differentiator. And going forward, that 1 week, you will see that your points are getting verified, and eventually सब कुछ green हो जाता है. You will see that all your points are verified, and that becomes like a very nice sigh of relief, क्योंकि तुमने 1-1.5 महीना इस one piece of paper पे काम किया रहता है, and to see it evolve into this beautiful thing that it is now gives you a lot of joy. So that's the CV making process. Okay, one small thing to add जो मैंने add नहीं करी, between Eximius and Vista, और जब तुम्हारा CV once you're in the CV making process, उन weeks में, that 3 to 4 weeks in July is when this thing called a CR election also happened. What is a CR? It's a class representative, equivalent of class monitor in school, but obviously not. The responsibilities is not to make people silent. He's a stakeholder for the section. तो वो administration के साथ जो भी communication होता है, he or she will be the one doing that. Becomes like the face of your section, kind of. And how does that happen? You have this thing called a soapbox, जहाँ पे सब लोग बैठते हैं, seniors भी आते हैं, तुम्हारे section mates आते हैं, and they grill you with questions. They're kind of intentionally stressful questions, which I'm not a huge fan of, but hey, I guess it's a test of your character. And eventually, basis that soapbox, a perception is built, but also marketing happens behind bars where all the CR candidates will come up to you and be like, bro, मुझे वोट दे देना, मुझे वोट दे देना. At the end of the day, it's a democratic election process where you get elected by the body and you become a CR, a class representative. People think it's a huge POR to have because historically CRs have gone on to become presidents of the Student Affairs Council. Personal opinion, slightly unpopular opinion as well, but I personally feel that these accolades, these positions of responsibility, whether it be president or hostel secretary or any of these, are good to have. They put you in a position where you're talking to a lot of people, you are exposed a lot. But from a CV perspective, it's not like there will be a huge CV spike, because if that was the case, they will be ending up in exceptional companies, at least from my perspective, or about how I define exceptional companies. But their placements are at par with any other person from the batch. So don't think that becoming a president will give you insane shortlists. However, it will give you a lot of other perks that will definitely help you in your MBA. मिड अगस्त आ चुका है, हमने फेस्ट्स कर लिए, दुनिया भर के पार्टीज भी हो गई, मिड टर्म्स भी हो गए, सीवी भी बना लिया, मोस्ट ऑफ योर टाइम एंड एनर्जी वेंट देयर, एंड नाउ यू आर गोइंग टू द एंड ऑफ टर्म 1. Eventually you will have two things. One is end-term presentations. Essentially, unlike other engineering courses, in business courses, most definitely you will have a group component where you work together in a group और तुम finally present करते हो उस चीज़ को. The idea is कि corporate में भी तुम groups में काम करोगे. So it's a good practice to develop it in a B school as well. And finally, end terms, which are end terms. So you study and you give your best. More importantly, the company applications open on the portal. Now your CVs are already verified. The companies start coming one by one, and it's as simple as just clicking apply and putting your CV there. So it's very straightforward process. हर रात को 12 बजे प्लेसकॉम का ईमेल आएगा तुम्हें प्लेसमेंट कमेटी का, जिसमें बोलेंगे कि आज ये कंपनीज पोर्टल पे आ गई हैं, and you have the next 24 hours to apply. So you have to go on the portal, click submit your CV, and eventually later in second term is when shortlists start coming out, but the applications start from late first term and they go on all the way till placements happen. So that brings us to the end of term 1. Thanks for watching this video. It's already getting too long. I wouldn't cover the entirety of first year, because I don't want to make this a Netflix documentary 1.5 घंटे की. But hopefully in the future videos I'll address it. If you've come so far, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!